Hey, 7th graders. As you watch this video to review circumference, here are your expectations. You are at a maximum of a voice level 1, so that way you can hear the video and not disrupt the lesson. If you need help with something, please raise your hand. As you watch the video, you will take notes on your sheet and then you can complete the practice problems at the bottom. You only need to be moving if you have permission, and your job is to watch the video, take notes, and complete your practice. Alright, so this, like I said, was a video on circumference of a circle. So, first let's start with identifying the parts of a circle. We have the center of the circle. We have the diameter, which we identify with the variable d, and it is the distance across the circle through the center. The circumference, which we identify with the letter C, is the distance around the circle, which is also known as perimeter. R is the radius, and then is the distance from the center of the circle to the side of the circle. It is very important that we know the difference between a diameter and a radius. Diameter is a long word, it goes all the way across. For circumference, we have two different formulas that we can use. We use our first formula if we have a diameter. So formula number 1 is C, which stands for circumference, equals pi times diameter. If you have a radius in your circle, then you will use the formula C equals 2 times pi times the radius. Remember that pi is the decimal 3.14 or the fraction 22 over 7. But you will be able to get very close to the actual answers just by using the number 3. And for many of our examples, we're just going to use the number 3, and we'll discover how close we can actually get to our actual answers. So pause here and make sure you have both formulas recorded in your note sheet. All right, so we are going to start with our first practice problem. And it says, find the circumference of the circle below. So the first thing I have to identify is, do I have a diameter or do I have a radius? In this problem, we have a diameter. Our diameter is 12 centimeters, that line that goes all the way across. So since I have my diameter, that means I'm going to be using the formula circumference equals pi times d. So we're going to make this easy for you by following a 3-step process to get our answer. So step number 1 is going to be to write our formula. Our formula is circumference equals pi times diameter. After we write our formulas, our next step, in step number 2, is to substitute our numbers. So C, which is what we are trying to find, we're going to use 3 for pi, and our diameter is 12. So in step number 2, we've substituted our numbers for our variables. Step number 3 in our problem is actually doing the math and getting our answer. So when I multiply 3 times 12, I end up with the answer of circumference being approximately 36 centimeters because we use 3 instead of 3.14 for pi. If we would have used 3.14 for pi, it would have actually given us the answer of 37.68 centimeters, which is very close to our estimated answer of 36. Since we rounded 3.14 down, that means our actual answer has to be greater than the answer that we calculated by using 3. Okay, so please pause here and record your work for this example problem. Another example. We have our circle, and the first question we have to answer is, do we have a diameter or do we have a radius? We have a radius this time, so that means we're going to be using the formula that has radius involved. And that formula is circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. So our step number 1, we have written down our formula, circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. And step number 2, we're going to substitute our variables for our numbers. So step number 2 looks like this. C equals 2 times 3, we're going to use 3 for pi to get a close answer, and our radius is 7.5. So 2 times 3 times 7.5. Once we multiply 2 times 3 times 7.5 together, we get our answer that circumference is approximately 45 centimeters. If we would have used 3.14 for pi, we would have gotten that the answer would have been 47.1 centimeters. And again, that is very close to our estimate. Since we rounded down, our actual answer has to be greater than the estimated answer. And 47.1 centimeters is just a little bit larger than 45 centimeters. So please pause here and copy down your work for this example problem. Right, this completes your review video on how to calculate circumference. So there are a couple of practice problems down at the bottom. You are more than welcome to use the number 3 for pi in your practice. When it is a multiple choice test, that using the number 3 should help you get very close to your actual answer.